I met Min when I was 28. It was raining lightly that day. I remember standing under the bus stop, holding a bag of vegetables and a half-wet umbrella. He stood next to me, offered a tissue, and smiled like the sun breaking through a gray sky. Simple, gentle, unexpected. That's how we began. He wasn't the kind of man who swept me off my feet. He was calm, steady, and a little awkward. But he listened, truly listened. And that made me feel seen in a way I hadn't felt for a long time. Our love grew like a quiet garden. No fireworks, no grand gestures, just little things, bringing each other hot tea, folding blankets, remembering the stories we told once in passing. He made me believe marriage wasn't a cage, but a place to rest. So we got married when I turned 31. The first year was full of small joys, lazy weekends, spaghetti dinners, midnight walks, laughter over burnt pancakes. We talked about children, about moving to a quieter place, about growing old together. But somewhere between the second and third year, something changed. Min became distant. He stopped asking about my day, stopped noticing when I wore something new, stopped sitting beside me on the couch. When I asked if he was tired from work, he nodded, smiled faintly, and said, "Just a lot going on these days." I believed him. I didn't want to push, but the silence between us kept growing. One night, he didn't come home. I called once, twice, 3 times. No answer. My heart was strangely calm, like the quiet before a storm. Somewhere deep inside, I already knew. That night, I couldn't sleep. I just sat in the dark, holding my wedding ring between my fingers. It felt heavier than ever. The next morning, he came back with tired eyes and a cold voice. I asked where he'd been. He said, "Stayed over at a friend's. Long meeting. Phone died." Lies sound different when you know the truth. They're too smooth, too quick. I didn't argue. I just watched him walk past me into the shower. That was the moment I knew this marriage wasn't ours anymore. I started noticing little things. A second phone password. The way he smiled at his screen. A smile that never appeared when talking to me. Late meetings. Longer showers. New shirts. A scent that didn't belong to our home. I didn't confront him. I began to prepare myself instead, slowly, silently. I opened my own bank account. I found my old college notebook filled with sketches. I started going out alone, cafes, bookstores, quiet gardens. Each day, I added a brick to the wall I'd need to walk away. Until one night, I saw her name flash across his phone screen. Though I didn't need to open the message. I didn't need to hear an explanation. I just sat there, staring at the glowing heart next to her name. She was 25, fresh out of a marketing agency, bright eyes, soft curls, dresses that hugged all the right places. I saw her on Instagram, a girl who looked like sunlight, everything I no longer was. She had the energy, the curiosity, the sparkle, and Min, he looked different in her photos. Looser, happier, younger. I scrolled through her feed with trembling fingers, comparing myself frame by frame. And then I cried, not because he loved someone else, but because, somewhere along the way, I stopped loving myself. Min came home late that night. I waited. When he stepped in, our eyes met. No lies this time, just silence. I asked, "Do you love her?" He looked away, didn't say a word, and that silence, it broke something in me. Not in a loud, shattering way, but softly, like a thread finally giving in after being pulled too long. I nodded, got up, washed the dishes. That night, I slept on the couch, not because I was angry, but because I needed space from the bed where love once lived. Days passed. I didn't cry again. I cooked breakfast like usual, packed his lunch, washed his shirts, not out of love, out of goodbye. It was a quiet farewell, the kind that doesn't need words. One morning, I printed the divorce papers, placed them on the dining table next to his coffee mug. He looked at them, then at me. "You sure?" he asked. I smiled. "Yes." He didn't argue. He signed. After the court, I saw her. She was waiting outside in a yellow dress. She waved at me. I nodded back. It was strange. I didn't feel hate. Not even sadness. Only peace. Because I wasn't losing. I was choosing. In the months that followed, I did the things I used to delay. I painted again, soft strokes on big canvases. I dyed my hair a warm brown I'd always wanted. I took a trip to Delat alone and watched the sun rise from a mountaintop cafe. I read poetry. I forgave myself. And one day, while sipping tea near a window, I whispered, "She may be prettier. She may be younger." But I didn't lose. I just grew. A year later, I met Min by accident. He was alone. He smiled politely. I did too. We talked about nothing, the weather, work. Then we parted ways like two strangers who once shared everything. As I walked away, I felt light, lighter than I had in years, because finally I wasn't carrying someone else's love. I was carrying my own. So if you're watching this and you feel like you've been replaced, like you're not enough, like you've been left behind, please remember this. You are not in competition. You are not a version to be compared. You are a story still unfolding, and somewhere ahead is a version of you so whole, so radiant, she won't remember ever asking